Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today we're having a look at a new headlight, what kind of new, we'll get to that point in a second, from Scoutlite, and this is the Creata 1800. Now taking a step back to the bit that I've just mentioned, so this is coming on to Kickstarter soon, or at least when I make this content it's coming on to the future. When this content comes out it will be live, so it's live on the 23rd of July, just in case I have to publish this a day or two beforehand. But this, so Scoutlite themselves, I've made some content on 2 or 3 of their lights, and they all were ones that went to Kickstarter, and they've all done incredibly well because they make some great products. And this is another one. Now some of the details that we'll see here today may change ever so slightly, because this is a pre-production version, but they will probably be as close to this as they possibly will be. But I just have to mention that they may possibly change, but I'm sure they probably won't change that much. Now, anyway, less of me waffling, let's turn the camera around and take a closer look at the Creata 1800. Okay, so just a quick look around the box. I mean, the box is a box. It gives you a little bit of information. So here on the front, that it's ultra light. It's got a stepless, the way that it goes up and down, so which we will have a look at the UI. As far as the weight on here, it comes at 78 grams, which is really nice and light. Tells you a little bit about it here. So on the minimum to the maximum, it's 1 lumen all the way up to 900 lumens. But then you do have a turbocharge of 1800s. Again, you know, we will have a look at all of this. Now before we get on to the actual light and the headband, I suppose it's useful to also touch on some of the other accessories that you get in here. Oh, we're just out of focus there for a second. So you do get the light, which would really makes sense. The light itself does come separately, and then you get a headband. This you can wear on your head, or if it is that you want to put this onto a helmet because you're, whatever it is you do, maybe doing some climbing, maybe doing some potholing, then this will fit onto a helmet, which I will show you in a bit. You do get a helmet fix point, so maybe for some strange reason you don't want this to go over onto the helmets, which, you know, is very standard in the way you can get things, but if you want to have something so that you can fix it onto that, then you've got this 3M on the back. You can put that on the front and then it will slide onto there as well. One of the other things that I really do like, I've not seen a lot of companies do this, there probably are other companies do it, but I really do like that they've done this. So you get a GoPro mount for this. So let's say you've got a tactical helmet where you've got like a Wilcox mount on the front to this, and then the Wilcox mount, you can get them so that you can get the GoPro mounts to them, so that you can attach it to that. Or maybe it is that you've got a certain setup that you've got a pole, so instead of having this attached to your head, instead you want to carry it in your hand, maybe, then you've got the option, so if you want to attach it there, then you can attach this. Now when you take it off, these flip down and they sit pretty flat in there. So there's a couple of different options, and I guess if you've got a few different helmets or a few different hats that you want to be able to move it differently between, then I'm sure they'll probably sell these separately as well, so that you can do that. Now the attachments for all of these points, here on the back you have some female sliding sections, and then on the attachments you have some male sliding sections. So you just line them up from above. Now at the moment it's not locked into place, but eventually you'll hear a little bit of a click. So it clicks into place there, and then here is your release part here at the top. So if you want to be able to take it off, you just hold that in, and then it'll be able to slide off. And that's the same with all of these, all of the bits that we've got here. Now, as I mentioned, it is reasonably light. The main construction for this, it's all made from. Oh, there's my box. It's all made from a very tough, hard composite material. It doesn't feel kind of jittery. There's no kind of jankiness to it or anything like that. All of the fixtures, even where you can swivel this here, you do have to apply quite a bit of pressure to this to get it round. Now some people might, oh, I prefer if it moves a little bit freely. Generally I prefer it when things are tough to be able to move, because it feels solid, it feels rigid. You don't want this to be moving and you have to be continuously adjusting it. So I do like what it's made from, and I like how sturdy it feels when you've got it on. Now, as far as the measurements are concerned, it comes in at 88.3 centimeters by 39.2 centimeters by 30.4 centimeters. So compared to other similar lights, it's not particularly massive. It doesn't feel bulky when you have it on your head. Now, as far as charging this is concerned, or at least how it's powered by, there are kind of two caps to this. This is the one for your main UI here on this side, whereas this one, when I unscrew this allows me access to the battery in this. Now, the battery itself, this is an 18650 battery, and it's a 4000 milliamp hour battery. You'll have to excuse my lack of knowledge of what the anatomy of a battery is concerned. I believe these called diodes, so the positive and negative are both at this one end. I believe the main reason for that is, so if you look into the barrel here, when this goes in, you can see the battery through there. So instead of having like wires coming through here, so you got the connection for the front and the back, it's all in this one end. Now, unfortunately I can't check whether this is a proprietary battery. I don't believe it's a proprietary battery, but I just don't have any other 18650s that have both of the connections on this end to check it against. One of the other things that you hopefully will have noticed, which is one of the other things that you get in the box, is you get a USB Type-C cable with this as well, is that if you want to hot swap your batteries, you can certainly hot swap your batteries, but to charge this, you have to remove the battery to be able to charge this. So if you're wondering, can you still use the light whilst it's being charged? Well, you do, but you have to have another battery in here. You can't charge this whilst it's still being used, because you have to remove the battery to be able to do that. It certainly helps with its IP rating, which I've just moved my notes. It is IP67. So it does mean that if you're out in water, if you're out in rain, you certainly don't need to worry about its charging, or at least water ingression, or even dust as well. I do like the fact that this is clear though. The fact that you can see the battery in there, which is a silly little thing anyway, I know, because you're never going to, when this is on your head, you're not going to be able to see the battery in there. But the fact that when you take the battery in and out, that you can see through that, I think's quite a nice feature. It's daft, and I'm happy to say that it's daft, that I think that's cool. Now, as far as the light is concerned, so you have this main barrel, this main body, and that's where the battery and the opening to the battery, and then your controls for the UI is, and the button that's here on the side. The light itself swivels around that battery, so it's an arm on the front here that moves around, and then hopefully underneath here you can see it's got these vents in it. It's not really a vent, it's not expelling air, but what that means is that when the lights are on the front here, this acts as a heat sink to be able to allow air to pass through here, which will mean that your lights will stay on longer before there's any sort of kick down, which with these you still do get some kick down, but it means that there's more for that. But what it also means is it increases the longevity of the LEDs because they're not overheating. Now, the UI on here is super simple, and I generally prefer this over a lot of other manufacturers. Now, there are other manufacturers that have made a similar UI to this, but this style of UI is absolutely my favourite. And the main reason for that is, a lot of these lights, you have it on your head and then the buttons to change it. So you might have one for on, one for changing the different modes, and one for changing the lumen mode on here. Trying to remember which button, when you've got this on your head and trying to find that, is an absolute pain in the arse, because you're always just trying to find the right button. So with this on the side here, so there's your tail cap to take the battery in and out. This is your UI side. So you have a button and you have a dial, and the dial is the stepless lumens that you have on here. So to turn this on, actually I'm just going to press this once, mainly because if you can see here, it says Scoutlite there on the side. That is your battery indicator, which I think is a very nice way of using the battery indicator on there. So it'll tell you whether it's 100%, 75, 50 or less than 25%. But to turn this on, so you just hold this down here on the side, side, and then it will turn it on. Now there is, by the way, there is a lockout function on here, so if this has been turned off for a certain amount of time, to turn it on, if you just hold it for a second, you'll find that it won't turn on. Instead, you have to hold it for a few more seconds, and then it will turn on. It's just a safety feature that they've got. It will catch you out. I guarantee it'll catch you out. But once you've done it a couple of times, you certainly won't notice. Now, once this is on, you then have your dial here on the side, which will take you from the top, which is 900 lumens, all the way down to the bottom, which is just 1 lumen. And I really do like this, because the hardest part with this is remembering whether you roll it forwards or backwards to be able to increase the light, not having to search for the buttons when you're trying to increase the lumens and now you've just realized you've turned your light off. But one of the things, actually, let's turn this back down. So hopefully looking on the front here, let's turn this off for a second, which will make it easier. You'll see that there is an array of LEDs. So putting this back on again, hold a second for longer. Let's put this roughly kind of in the middle. It has different temperatures on here. So rather than having a single LED that changes the temperatures, the LED that's in the first and fourth position is your very crisp, clear white light, and then the position in the second and fifth LED, this is a very warm kind of natural light. To change this, now to turn this off, if I press this, that will and keep it hold down for a second or so, it'll turn it off. Turn it back on again, and it will turn it back on. Now if I press this once and then turn the dial, hopefully you'll be able to see that you've got fully white light. We're now mixing the white and the warm, and now we're on the warm. If I press this again, it will put that back into the stepless mode, which will then allow me to increase and decrease the light. Personally, I'm a crisp white light kind of guy. I just prefer this over a warmer colour, but there's the option for you, whether depending on which one you prefer, then you can do that as well. Now, the button on the side, if I do a double press on here, and I'm just going to tilt this away from the camera, if I do a double press, this then puts it into its turbo mode. The turbo mode on here is 1800 lumens. So doing your stepless, you've got 1 lumen, all the way up you've got 900 lumens. But if you need a full blast, double press, and that will put it onto the turbo. Now when it's on the turbo, you have both the white light and the warm light options turned on for you there. There is, many of you will have noticed that I've mentioned the first, second, fourth and fifth. The middle LED on here, this is a green light. So if I do a triple press, 1, 2, 3, it will put it green light. It's not a green light, it's a red light. You can have your red light on there, and similarly you have a stepless increase and decrease. What I do like about this is, if you're on the red light, if I turn this off now, if I turn it back on again, a lot of others will just turn back onto the white light. If you're trying to conserve your night vision, keeping it on the red light, if you have it on the red light, you turn it off, turn it back on again, it will stay on the red light. Now I was up in the loft the other day and managed to find my red helmet. Yes, that's correct. This is Randy's red helmet. So as far as putting this on with your band is concerned, you can put it on over your head, but I am happy to confirm, as long as I've got this the right way up, that if you have a helmet and you want to put it onto a helmet, that it fits perfectly on here. On the I've just realised that I've been doing that off camera, but on the inside of the band, there is like a tacky silicone kind of strip on there, so that when you've got it on, you can just make sure that you've got it looped around all of the bits that you need to have it looped around, and it will keep that in position for you. And yeah, so if you want to, now as I mentioned, you do get those other helmet fixture points. So I guess if you've got a couple of helmets that you want and need to be able to swap it between, then you can do that. But if you just got the one helmet, because I don't know why you'd need a couple of helmets, then you're on. When it is on, as I mentioned, the UI on this is so much easier to use. There's no fishing around, there's no trying to find the buttons or where whatever it is that it's on. You've got the button here on the side, you hold that down, it turns it on. Now I'm still on red light mode, so I do the triple press, that will put it onto white light mode. I have to search and then I found it. Here's the dial on the side. I can put it up to its 900 lumens. I can put it down to 1 lumen. Again, if I want to change the temperature, I just press that button on the side, give it a bit of a turn, and there I've changed the temperature. Press it again, and now I can increase or I can decrease the lumens. As I mentioned before, the hardest thing on here, which really is one of those kind of first world issues, is remembering whether you turn it forwards or you turn it backwards to decrease the light. But it's a tiny kind of issue, considering before you could have been in a position where you're trying to increase it, and then you've just changed the lumen mode. You're now on strobe, or you're on red light, or you're trying to decrease the lumens, and you've just turned your light off. So much easier. Now, as I usually do, let's get down to the fishing pond and let's see how this works in the dark. Well, we're down at the fishing pond and we'll go through the settings on here. Now, I just need to correct something, because I think when I was talking earlier, I mentioned that on its lowest setting that it's 1 lumen. It's not on its lowest setting. On its lowest setting it's 6 lumens. Then you can go all the way up to 900. Then you can do a double press, which will take you up to 1800. On its lowest, it's 6 lumens. So just a correction there. There you go. There's everything in the dark. That was easy enough. I'm also trying to get this just so that it's right, because if I put the camera here where I usually have it, then you can see the shadow. But so as I mentioned, so here we have it. Just looking around, and I actually have it on my head, so I'm turning my head now, and you know it's moving around. So there's the tree on the opposite side that we usually look at, which is a bit difficult to see right now. This is on its lowest setting, so I can look down on the floor here. You can see 6 lumens. So if you're walking through somewhere, you know where you're walking, you don't necessarily have to concern yourself with looking too far ahead in the forward. Then 6 lumens is great. Now I will say as well, it's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, so it's not as dark as it gets in the winter. 6 lumens you'll be able to see a lot more when it's pitch black. But now the increments on here, rather than being stepped that you get with other lights, where you might have maybe a low, medium, high turbo kind of thing, you just turn the dial on here, and there you go. It's increasing the lumens from 6 lumens all the way up to 900 lumens. So just looking around here, as I turn my head, hopefully you'll be able to see. As far as a warm spot is concerned, there's not hardly any warm spot on this, because you're designed just to be able to walk around and see as much in front of you as you possibly need. So looking over there where the waterfall is, looking over here to that tree again, you can easily see the trees on the opposite side. The other thing that you have with this, so the dial on the side, if you remember, you can press this button in, and now I'll be able to change the colour temperatures. So hopefully we'll be able to see now. We're on the full warmest setting. We just had a fish moving around in the water there. That was kind of cool. I wonder if that'll come back. So this is now on the full warmest setting. If we look down here at this, let's put this on its lowest. So this is your 6 lumens on warm. Then we go all the way up to 900 lumens on the warm. There's a tree on the opposite side that we look at a lot of the time. Back down to its lowest, 6 lumens. It's tricky to see it. I think the camera doesn't do justice how much light you actually get from 6 lumens. But I can press this again, and now I can cycle through. So now we're on the whitest of white, and then we've got some actual warmth to that. There you go. Now what I'm going to put it on the whitest now, because I can do a double press, and this bumps it up to the 1800 lumens, which is the maximum that you can get out of this. So on the front you had those 2 white, 2 warm. So now everything's on, and yeah, that's your turbo.
Let's go back here again, and then I can also do 1, 2, 3, which is the red light. So on the red light, this is it on its maximum, and then we're down on its lowest. Now on the maximum, you get to see quite a lot with this. This is yeah, it's a lot more than you get with some other red lights. So being able to see in front of me, I can easily see 7 or 8 meters in front of me. If I needed to read something, it's actually really bright. You wouldn't want it that bright to be able to read. There, I'm guessing this is roughly at 50%, but being able to read something like that, if it was in my hand, certainly wouldn't have any issues with it being at this. In fact, let's put it down onto its lowest. Do you know what, on its lowest setting, I really played around with the red light as much on this, but on its lowest setting, if you want to, let's move this down, just pivot it down just a little bit more. You need to be able to check something, read something with this. No issues whatsoever on its lowest setting. And then I can do 1, 2, 3 again, and that will put it back to its white light. So yeah, Cresta 1800, very nice head torch.
So there you have it, the Cresta 1800 from Scoutlite. Now, as previously mentioned, this is coming to Kickstarter. At the time of filming, or at least it will be live on Kickstarter on the 23rd of July. I just need to check when this content's coming out. It'll either have just gone live or it will be coming live in a few days' time. Scoutlite have sent me a few of their products in the past that have gone onto Kickstarter, and they've all been successful campaigns just because of how good their lights are. 2 of them that I use constantly, especially in the winter when I'm running, have never failed me, so I have every confidence in this product. Now, of course, I'll leave some of those links below so that you can see more from Scoutlite and their other products, and also from the Kickstarter project, the campaign that they have with this. I'll leave some of my social media links below so that you can see more from me here on More Into EDC and my sister channel, More Into Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Randy's red helmet. Randy's red helmet, red helmet. Where do you think you get the name Randy from? Anyway, hope you're good. As always, I'm not sure what day this is coming out, just mainly because of the release of the thingamajiggy. But I hope you're all having a good week. Hope you're all well. I bought this because they said that it would fit my head, and it's so snug. It's a good helmet. What are they? Is it Camp? What are they called? Camp? Yeah, Camp Rockstar. Such a kind of... It's just a helmety helmet, isn't it, at the end of the day? Anyway, enough of my helmet. I'll see you all soon. Okay, you can go now. Love you, bye.